This guy has 2,000 hours on Yoru. This is Eggster, a Radiant Yoru one-trick who's reached rank 1 multiple times with his insane aim and quirky Yoru antics. If you plan to learn how to play Yoru, this guy has to be one of the best references to study. In this video, we'll be breaking down exactly what 2,000 hours on Yoru actually teaches you. Let's zone in on Yoru's most potent tool, Blindside. Eggster has hailed Yoru's Blindside as arguably the strongest ability in his arsenal, and here's why. Notice how the Blindside only illuminates after it ricochets off a surface? This mechanic grants enemies a fraction of a second to react, categorizing it as one of the most effective pop flashes in the entire game. Its versatility is another key strength. You can hurl it from significant distances, ensuring enemies won't detect it until that crucial bounce. Due to the trajectory of Blindside, Yoru's in a league of his own when it comes to creating unexpected flashpoints, and with this in mind, try utilizing unique flash angles. One of the most common use cases for Yoru's flash is the one-way flash. It's designed to impair the enemy, while ensuring Yoru remains unblinded. It's reminiscent of Phoenix's flash in principle. Make it pop around an obstacle, sparing Yoru from its effects. Door frames, in particular, are your best friend here. Here's a clip of Eggster in a 1v3 situation, where he uses this technique to set up the last fight flawlessly. Sometimes the layout of your surroundings doesn't offer the opportunity to create a one-way flash. A decent replacement for this is use a backflash. Now, a backflash is created by bouncing a flash at an angle where the flash activates behind the Yoru who's peeking at the same time. This causes Yoru to be blinded by a bit of his flash, but gets the benefit of being able to quickly peek with the flash at the same time. This is usually done off walls that are in front of Yoru, but it can also be done by bouncing a Blindside off the ground. The unique strength of this flash is that you're able to capitalize on enemies who attempt to turn the flash in hopes of lessening their blindness. Now, the enemy's in an odd predicament. Either choose to turn the flash and get peeked from the Yoru while they have their back turned away, or to face forward and eat the flash in hopes of shooting the Yoru if he does peek before the flash activates. Let's see how Eggster uses this technique in this split clip.
Can we get a smoke main?
Oh, I had to kill this Cypher.
Outside.
Spike down A.
Off backside.
Eggster's #1 piece of advice when it comes to learning Yoru is to build a solid understanding of how to use your Blindside. This reason alone should be enough to convince you to lab out some creative ways on how to use your flash. This is one of the many things we cover in our Yoru Master in Minutes course over at SkillCapped. We detail all the tricks that top players on Yoru utilize to hard stomp every single match, even including special tech that we don't cover in this video. We'll teach you everything you need to know about playing Yoru, so you can just skip the learning phase of this difficult agent and just get to the part where you start fragging. On top of this, we also take a no BS approach to our mechanics courses, so we can teach you everything you need to know in as little amount of time as possible. If your aim's horrible, we'll get you caught up to speed in just a few hours and have you fragging in no time. And don't believe us? Well, we offer a rank improvement guarantee, so if you don't improve, you just don't pay. It's kinda like a gym promising you'll get ripped. Your local gym will go bust if they offered that. Not us, though. We've offered this for years because our service actually works. And if it doesn't work, you shouldn't pay. Check it out using the link in the description below. One of Eggster's favorite combos with Yoru is to use his Gate Crush in tandem with his flash. Although it's a simple concept, it's not as easy as it sounds. Many Yorus have fallen prey to misused teleports. The key? It's all in the timing. First, send Gate Crash to your desired location. Then you throw a flash so it activates relatively near where your teleport location will be. The key detail here is the bounce of Blindside. That's going to be your cue. During the ricochet, that is your moment to pop your teleport to perfectly time your flash plus Gate Crash combo. This set timing is effective at using the audio cues provided by bouncing effects of Blindside to slightly mask the sound of your teleport being activated. Teleport too early, you'll give the enemies a large window to react where you've teleported to before they're fully blinded. Teleport too late, and you risk the enemy having enough time to recover from the flash while you're still in the teleport animation. It's all in the details. Observe these clips to study the timing at which Eggster controls his Blindside and Gate Crash.
Break. I'm killing that guy. Wait.
I got flank.
One more long.
Take some time to practice this timing so you can bring it into your next match. Now, not only does having over 2,000 hours on Yoru help with his knowledge of the agent, it also gave him an ample amount of time to practice his insane pistol movement and gunfight hygiene. Pay close attention to how he moves during each fight he takes, and the cadence at which he shoots his ghost.
Oh my god.
One enemy remaining.
Fish.
Torso.
Don't forget that while spending your time practicing Yoru, Valorant is a shooter at the end of the day. Now, to continue with the topic of movement, Eggster fully capitalizes on the movement options that Yoru has to offer, specifically how you're able to jump while triggering your gate crash. For those who aren't familiar with this mechanic, when Yoru has his gate crash placed and chooses to teleport to it, he's able to do so even while airborne. This is quite different from how Chamber's Rendezvous works, where he's only able to teleport while he's grounded. This unique characteristic allows Yoru to create both offensive and defensive plays. Now, the most obvious use case for this is to use bunny hopping to dodge any incoming bullets as you attempt your getaway. In these clips, Eggster was able to use this tactic to find aggressive openings while also taking advantage of the protective aspects.
I will. My dog into you.
With only a Bucky in hand, Eggster hides in the smoke and prepares a pop flash. Right after using his blindside, he jump peeks out of the smoke, abusing the fact that the shotguns are surprisingly accurate while jumping. After landing a nice shot onto the enemy Viper, he instantaneously activates his teleport. If you slow down the clip, you can see he's still airborne using the teleport animation. If Eggster had been any slower on this teleport, the Sage definitely would have trade fragged her fallen teammate. Whenever you're in a pinch, be sure to use this mechanic. It may just save your life. A simple lesson to take away from Eggster's playbook is whenever you're on defense, always place a rotate teleport to the other bomb site during the buy phase. Throughout the numerous rounds we watched to make this Yoru video, each one had one thing in common, and that was defense rotate teleports. Thankfully, it's quite easy to implement into your own game. Step 1. Go to the general area of the bomb site you plan to play. Step 2. With roughly 3 to 6 seconds left in the buy phase, throw your gate crash towards the other bomb site. Prefer someplace that's safe and has cover. With just this two-step plan, you now have access to one of the quickest rotates in the game. Omen has a similar ability to teleport across the entire map, but it does require him to use his ultimate rather than just a signature ability. Now, the beauty of this not being an ultimate is Yoru has access to 2 gate crashes. It allows Eggster to use his first rotation teleport to make his way to one bomb site. But if the enemies choose to go back towards the other bomb site, he can just set up another rotation teleport after using his first one. This alone makes Yoru one of the most underrated defense agents in the entire game, since he can have an impact throughout the entire map if played correctly. If you're ever unsure of what to do when on defense, always start your round off by setting up a rotation teleport. While creating these rotation teleports, you might notice that gate crash strictly stays on the ground level of maps, unless there's some form of ramp to ride on. But there are a couple of niche tricks that let you place your teleport on top of boxes. The first neat trick we'll show you is widely known as the Yoru updraft. First, position yourself next to the box, then place a decoy down walking straight into the box. Afterward, walk into the clone, jump. Place your gate crash on top of the box. The decoy acts as a platform to allow the teleport to be placed on top of the box. Although this trick is super niche, it does give Yoru more positions to play if you're ever looking to mix up your off angles. We mostly suggest you either do this trick during the buy phase to set up an early off angle, or it can be combined with your ult, so you can set up the self boost safely. Here's the real spicy tech though. There's another interesting trick that even lets Yoru place his gate crash on top of double stack boxes as well. First, you're going to position yourself next to the box. Then, right-click a decoy on the top of the box so it's placed where it will walk against the wall at a somewhat steep diagonal angle. Reposition yourself to the side of the box where the clone will walk towards. And finally, activate your clone, and whenever the clone falls off the box from walking too far, place your teleport above his head as it's falling. It's going to land on top of the box. This one will require a decent amount of practice if you do want to add it into your repertoire. Yoru is a character that rewards creativity, so don't feel intimidated learning these fun techniques. Another trick that Eggster uses frequently that also incorporates these double stack boxes is using vertical flashes. As the name states, vertical flashes are flashes where you look directly at the ground and shoot your flash. Now, this results in the flash bouncing vertically, and that perfectly reaches the height to activate above many walls and double stack boxes. Here are a few examples from Eggster's games.
remaining.
Last one was deep spawn. Was deep spawn with the phantom.
Has there been an increase? 100% there has been.
There is also a slight variation of this technique. Instead of looking down directly, bounce the flash off the ground at a steep angle. Eggster often uses this type of flash whenever there's no cover nearby that he can ricochet his flash off of or flash out of a smoke. You'll likely remember this maneuver from the clip that we showed earlier in the video. A fun fact about Yoru's ult, you can body block enemies while in the ultimate. Usually, it doesn't have much effect on the game, however, it can be used to spawn crazy moments like these ones.
Stand off.
One here. I'm blocking him. I'm blocking him.
Nice.
Empty.
It was a good try.
Don't shy away from doing a bit of trolling the next time you use Yoru ult. A classic play that many Yoru mains love to pull out is using a shotgun when emerging from their dimensional drift. In previous iterations of Valorant, it was usually done with a shorty, due to how strong it was at killing enemies at close range for a low cost. Unfortunately, with nerfs to the shorty's damage and the price tag, it's made this strategy not so viable. Still though, Yoru mains have found a workaround for this by replacing their shorty with a Bucky or a Judge. Albeit it's not as strong as the shorty plus ult combo, it still gets the job done whenever you're just looking to take someone out of the game immediately. Maybe you aren't the type to just blatantly take fights, but you want to use tricks and cunning to win your fights. Typically, players use fake out to send a decoy rushing forward, tricking enemies into firing on it, blinding them while also revealing their positions based off the sound cues. However, the true artistry lies in Yoru's ability to set a stationary decoy with a simple right click, and when the moment's just right, with the tap of the F key, bring it to life. Now, I know what you're thinking, they'll just know it's a clone, right? But here's where the magic happens. The deception isn't to make the enemy think the decoy's footsteps are the real Yoru. The brilliance lies in making them believe you're actually nearby, possibly right behind the clone. This strategy forces your opponent into a guessing game. Is Yoru behind the decoy? Is he lurking from a different angle? Perfecting this can create unparalleled opportunities on the battlefield. Misdirection, confusion, second guessing, that's the power of Yoru's fake out. Here is a fantastic example of Eggster executing this trap play. Yoru's got a bad reputation for being one of the worst agents in Valorant. Although it might be true, he has an unbelievably high skill ceiling that rewards players who are proactive and tricky. This is what over 2,000 hours of Yoru will teach you. Alright though guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a bit more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and we think it's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing that you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered you that. Not us. We've offered this for years, because our service really does work. And it works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium Valorant guides on the internet. We add new courses every month, with over 1,000 guides curated into over 50 courses. No one can compare. We also have a direct line of communication with subscribers in our Discord, so you can get connected immediately to some of the best players in the game who will respond to all questions asked. You can sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you're serious about improving. So, that's going to be all for this one today. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.